I'm processing it.
Let's talk about the emotional impact. It's much more complicated for me personally, because it's not just about that one night. It's about the racial undertones that impact all of this. So it began for me much longer before those cops came through the door that evening. I don't know what I'm going to do about that, but right now it is certainly a struggle. There's this dichotomy where I am standing with law enforcement, but I also personally feel and understand that angst that comes when you cross the paths of an officer in uniform and you're fearing for your safety. I've been there and I understand that. But for me, that does not condone disrespecting or killing police officers. And it's something I'm struggling with constantly. And I truly don't know what I'm going to do next.
Do you have any children?
Yes, I do.
Anything about that?
So I have a daughter. I make sure I do simple things when I'm out in public. When I see police officers eating at a restaurant, I pick up their tab. I even, one time a year or two ago, I bought one of the Dallas PD officers some ice cream when I was out with my daughter getting ice cream. I want my daughter to see me interacting with police that way so she doesn't grow up with the same burden that I carry when it comes to interacting with law enforcement. And I want the Dallas police to also see me, a black man, and understand that I support you, I will defend you, and I will care for you. That doesn't mean that I do not fear you. That doesn't mean that if you approach me, I will not immediately have a visceral reaction and start worrying for my personal safety. But I will control that the best I can and not let that impact how I deal with law enforcement.
Dr. Williams, I'd like to say something to your credit. During our critical incident debriefing that occurred after this happened, Dr. Williams got up and spoke to the leadership of the hospital. And I think as a law enforcement officer, I understand what he's saying. But one of the things that stood out to me that made me respect Dr. Williams so much was he said that when those 3 police officers came through the door, the initial ones, that not even for a second did he think about anything that was going on or that it compromised him caring for them no differently than he would anybody else. And that to me was very reassuring, that he was willing to set aside any personal feelings that he had and that he was going to care for those guys with everything that he had. And I appreciated that.
I mean, I'll take it one step further. I mean, Brian and I are like the rest of the guys here. We are close. And we don't just say that to entertain you. We work together, we play together, we vacation together. Our families know one another. Our wives know one another. Our children know one another. I mean, and I think that as I've watched us all struggle through this, Brian and I have had some very long hugs and the beginnings of some really challenging conversations about how we move forward from here. And I think it's interesting that 2 guys who truly love each other, and I know he would do anything for me and I would do anything for him, have such very different takes on how this all comes together. But I think what's been awesome for me is both of our resolves to move the discussion forward and to help turn what is truly a senseless act into something that helps us as a city, helps us as a family, and helps us as a country move forward from here.